and get started. Welcome everybody. This is the Thursday evening Viper Trading webinar. If you're here to learn about trading the financial markets using the Viper tools, you're in the right place. All communications from Viper Trading Systems are for educational purposes only. Futures and Forex trading does involve risk, and there is a risk of loss. Nothing contained in this webinar, other webinars, including the live trading room, are to be construed as investment or trading advice. And of course, everybody does know that you do trade at your own sole discretion. Tonight's topic is after hours trading. We've done a couple sessions like this where it's sort of quasi. Now, by the way, just a quick. We're looking at 6J here. Okay, this is the Japanese yen futures, and we're right down here. I know we only been here a couple minutes. I do have. Let me make sure I'm in sim here. I'm just going to trade this in sim. There we go. Okay. What does everybody think about putting a buy order above this bar right here? Now, I didn't have time to set up Chart Trader. I was kind of rushed. I got home a little bit late and had to hurry to get in here and get the chart set up, so my apologies. I should have Chart Trader over here and box this in. You have a little box forming at the midband. As you can see, we've been sideways. Hardy says, let's not waste any time. Let's do it. Let's get the order in there. Sideways trending to up, right? So it's been consolidating all evening since the market. Oh, there we go. We got filled. Okay, so we're long here. Now, if you had Object Trader, you might not be filled because we would have to have a close of the bar. See, let me draw where our box would be. I know I'm kind of jumping in right here. Not wasting any time because I was waiting for this pullback. I was watching this. They were getting a little pop up now. See how we were up, and I was watching. I was just getting ready to open the room, and it was up here at this swing high. Now let's manage this trade. I should have put 2 on. I wanted to put 2 to take 1 out here and then a runner. So now we need a little trade management. Yeah, Object Trader. That's what I meant, Mindy. Sorry about that. Object Trader. I was rushed. I got in here. I was running really late. I just was happy to get the chart set up, to be honest with you. Let's see. Looking at GDP flash crash a few minutes ago. That's a good idea. Let's check the news. We are in the Asian session. Okay, let me back up for a second. I know I kind of jumped in here. We'll do some trade management in just a minute. All right, so at 5 o'clock Pacific, we kick off what's called the Asian trading session. And this is where we're looking for movement in 6A, 6J. Sometimes we'll get some movement on the dollar and gold. We'll be looking at some of those charts a little bit later. We'll check on 6B and 6E. We'll look at all these currencies. So if you're looking for things to trade after hours, now let's see how thin we are and what the spread is. Spread's pretty good. You got a little bit of liquidity, 32.3. I've sold 22.1. You know, it kind of dips down. You know, that's sort of your after hours type trading deal there. Now some trade management. 6 1/4, Mindy. 6J is 6 1/4 a tick. 6 1/4 a tick. All right, so we need some stops and targets. And let me lob some ideas out for the team. I know I'm just kind of jumping in here. I wanted to get something going real quick, so we have something to watch while we kind of watch, play trade while we learn, if you will. I'm going to put some stops in here, and I'm going to give you some options, and you tell me which ones you want. See, we're long, so we're going to put some sell stops in here, okay? Now, if you were in this trade and you were managing it, I'm going to give you some options on where to put some stops. Would you have your stop at position A, this upper one here at 96,520, or B, lower at 96,490? We popped in. We're up about 5 ticks. We got filled on this bar right here. We are long. A, tighter stop here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a third option. How about this? Sell stop, your protective sell stop. Super tight would be right under this bar right here. Let's rephrase that. A, the top one, B, the middle one, C, the bottom one. We need to get some stops in. Where would you put it? A, tight, B middle, C loose. We'll take a vote, and that's what we'll go with. Cast your votes, A, B, C. Where would you put, if you were trading this right now, you're up about, I don't know, 3-4 ticks. Where would you put your protective stop? Got a lot of A's, a lot of B's. Wow, okay. C, couple of C's. All right, we're popping up, Well, we'll get a target in a minute, Mindy. We're just trying to vote on the stops right now. We'll get the target. We'll do that one next, okay? We'll do it all together, like we're doing this. That's what, like a team kind of thing. All right? Well, it looks like B kind of won. There was a sprinkling of A's and a couple of C's, so B seems to be the winner. Now, if we start to break up, we'll move our stop up accordingly. So we'll go ahead and go with B for now. All right, let me give you some targets. We want to sell because we're long and take profits. So we can go above the swing at the predictors. We can go right at the swing like that, or we can come inside the swing like this. Starting with the lowest, A, B, C is the highest. A, B, C. Type in your vote for the target. A, lowest, B, middle, right at the swing, and C, up at the predictor, up here. Cast your votes. And whatever the predominant vote is, that's what we'll take. Excuse me. All right. I see a lot of A's. I see a lot of B's. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 B's, 5, 6 B's, 7 B's, and 2 A's. All right, it's coming back to our entry. All right, we'll stick with B. Now, by the way, personally, just to cast a personal comment here, if you really wanted to get out of this, I don't know that I personally would go with B. I would probably go with A, and I'd probably put it right there. Because what you really want to do, as we all know, is you want to fade the swing. So B is right on the swing. See it? B is right on the swing. So there's more of a likelihood if you really wanted to get out of it. The point might be moot if we get stopped out. So let's just leave B. That was the main vote of the team here tonight. All right, let's pull them back a little bit. How many of you, yes or no, taking a vote, feel that it might pop the stop and you need to give it some more wiggle room and you want to drag it down from where it is right now? Yes or no? Drag it down into here maybe, or under here, under this swing. Yes or no? Drag it down. The stop that's sitting. Remember we took the vote? The vote was A here, B was here, and C was under this swing right here. And the team collectively, we add up everybody's vote, and B won. So it's sitting right here. So do we move it down? Yes or no? A Y or an N? Just cast your vote. Yes, move it. No, don't move it. Ooh, we got a real mix here tonight on that one. Yes, below the mid-band. Yes, below the mid-band. I voted for C in the first place. Okay, Dennis. Fade below the mid-band. Quite a few fade it. All right. Quite a few no's, though. Okay. All right. Some of you wanted it here in the first place. All right. So we'll give it. So in its current position, what is the risk return on this trade? As this trade is set up right here, let's think about that for a second. Let's just look at it. So here you can see where you're filled right here. We're long from this bar. And the votes came in to put, B was the selection for the target, so it's sitting right on the swing itself. And everybody wants to put a tick under the mid-band swing for the protective stop. So what's the risk return? By the way, everybody knows what that means, right? When we say risk return, what does that mean? Is there anybody not know what that means? What is the risk return on this trade? In other words, how much are you risking versus how much you stand to make? And you can just eyeball it. So here, maybe I should back up a second. I know we have a lot of new people in here, and we have more people coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you just came in, hi Diane. Some people just coming in here, no problem. We're just still getting started. Just to bring you up to speed real quick, we did our disclaimer and quickly popped over here, took a quick little 6J long trade off the mid-band bounce over here. You can see the long position. We took a vote on stops and we took a vote on targets, and this is kind of more or less where they wound up. Yeah, so when we talk about risk return, the risk part of it is the amount you're willing to risk. So that would be your stop, right? So if it went down and took this out, you would lose this amount of money here, right? That's the risk part of it. The return part, when you hear the term risk return or return risk, either way, would be this right here. So in this particular setup that we have with the entry right here long, stop here and the target here, the risk is approximately within a tick or so. I'd say 1 to 1. Now when we think about risk return in regards to trades, is 1 to 1 a good ratio? What do you think? Yes or no? Joe, I know you came in late. You see the entry? We're long from here. We got long on this bar right here, right there. So we're down 3 ticks. We're down 3 ticks. 6 1/4 is 6J a tick. Is 1 to 1 a good risk return? In other words, your target's here and it's about equal to your risk. Right here. I'm circling it right here. This is the trade that we're in right now. We're risking this much and we're potential gain is that much. Let me blow this chart up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better here. There we go. How's that? Is that better? So we're upside down, 4 ticks. Hardy says, it's not the best, but you can do it if you can make some successful scalps. That's a good point. A lot of no's. 1 to 1 is not good. John wants to change, go with a B target. Oh yeah, Adam, we just threw this up here because it had you may came in late. So what happened is so let me back up. What we're trying to do is we've done a few sessions that were like this, where we actually put a chart that has some kind of movement on it. I'm not recommending that you trade this right now. I'm not endorsing this instrument. In fact, Adam is saying he's traded 6J or watched it for a while, and right at the Asian Open, it tends to be a little slow and choppy. But I just threw it up here because what had happened is we had this, right before I opened the room, I threw this chart up, and it had thrust up to here. And as I was going through the disclaimer, we were getting a pull back into the mid-band, so I saw some kind of little trade setting up, and I want to get something on the board for us to talk about. Anyway, back to the 1 to 1 ratio deal. Obviously, we would like to get 1.5, 2 to 1. In other words, let me just put some like an example up here real quick. So let's say that this market was in a nice running trend, that it wasn't so choppy and sideways, and it was really trending. All right, ideally we would put a target that would be more, you know, kind of up in here. 1.5, 2 to 1. We want to see swings where the market's pulling back and getting a higher swing, pulling back, getting a higher swing, a nice trending market, and so that our target to stop ratio is more 1.5, 2 to 1. The reason that that's important, if you think about it, is that even if you had a 50% win ratio with a 2 to 1 target consistently, you will make money. All right? What's 50-50 on a trade? 50-50 on a trade. It's like flipping a coin, right? So we don't like those odds. We like better odds. And I think we've mentioned many times in the past, we'd like to see your win ratio up around that 67, 75, even pushing 80+%. Because then if you have a 1 to 1 risk return ratio, if you skew the odds in your favor with a 60 to 80% win ratio, now you can make money even if you have a setup that looks like this. So it's really important that we work on 2 things. We work on looking at where our stops would be, looking at where our targets would be, and doing a quick mental calculation on what the risk return on the trade is. And you can see visually, it just didn't take couple seconds to do it. You can see it, right? All right, we pulled down. We did not get the stop. Excuse me. Let me make a quick suggestion here. Take a sip of tea, stand by. Coming up to the target. How many of you want to move the target up? Anybody want to move the target up? Yes or no? All right. No. No? No? Okay. Go on. Vote it. Vote it. We're going to move quickly here. Move it, yes or no? We got 3 no's. No. Okay. No. We got no's. No's. Okay. I'll put it right back where it was. Tighten the stop, says David. All right. We want to tighten the stop. Let me throw out some ideas on your stop. Oh, got it. Boom. There you go. Done. Just like that. I was about to move the stop up into here, by the way. Most of you know that. That was coming next. I was going to put the stop real tight right up in there. So essentially, where I was going with that was that if for those of you who wanted to move the target up, here's how you could have done it. And I didn't have time to say it. It popped it. I knew it was going to do that, but that's okay. No big deal. There'll be more trades. What you could do when it starts to, let me show you what sort of the strategy on that is, and you can set up Object Trader to more or less do this for you, but I'll just sort of manually show it to you. All right, so if you had a higher target and you thought that it was going to take this swing out, you can go ahead and put it a little bit higher. In other words, you can sort of let it chase it a little bit. If it fills this stop, it's okay. So essentially what you're doing is this. You start off with the trade. Oops, I got filled. Let me get rid of that stupid thing here. It's all in sim. Let me just close all that out and start all over again. Let's go back here and talk about, I'll just, last thing on this, and then we'll pop another, let's see, we were long from somewhere about here. I think it was right, somewhere kind of right on this bar right here. We were long, right? So you can see that your initial stop wants to be under this mid-band and under the swing. So your initial stop would be sitting down under here. Now, if you recall, we had several options. We had a tight target here. We had B, which everybody voted for, or the majority voted for, to be clear. And C was way up here by the predictors for the target, which with this condition here, you can see that you're approaching a risk return of closer to 1.5 to 1. Here's your risk, and your target is up a little higher. Now, the way you manage that, of course, is that you would be dragging your stop up, and if it never took the target out, then you would be stopped out. So that's another way to do it. The other way to do it, of course, is to put the thing right here, and it wicked it and bipped it and got it out. So actually that B, whoever voted B, that was a good call. You get the gold stars tonight. All right, so let's before we come off of this chart and pop something else up, let's talk about re-entry. I'm going to draw a little trend line here under the swing lows like this. And I'm going to ask a question here. Let me get this. Let me get some clean. Let me clean this up a little bit here. Hold on a second. There we go. Get that all off of there. How many of you want to buy? Let me give you some buy options here. We can just sort of watch it while we pop some other charts up and look at them. I'm going to put a buy order above here. I'm going to put a buy order right here. Oh, we just got filled. Oh, I was trying to. All right, it's too late for that one. I was trying to give everybody 3 spots to get in. An A, a B, or a C. A got filled. Let's pretend it's not filled because I can close it. It's all sim. I can close it out. We can jump back in. But how many of you would buy A, B, or C? Now, A got filled. We all know what that's called, right? We call that a breakout trade. We've already thrust up. Generally speaking, well, let me take A, B, or C. B on the retracement. A lot of B's coming in. Starting to trend. It is starting to trend a little bit here, Hardy. A lot of Bs. A lot of folks voting B. I don't see any Cs. I don't see any As. I know we wouldn't have taken that. I understand. You want to pull back. I understand. Yeah, it's starting to trend. See, you're getting a little bit of a trending type motion here. You're getting a thrust there. Here was the pullback. Got another thrust up to the swing, like such. Little itty bitty pullback. Wasn't much to that one. And you had this little pullback here, and then you pushed up to a fresh swing, taking that swing out there for the evening session here, like this. So absolutely, yeah, you're starting to make some trending motion here. But one of the things that we really try to avoid is buying breakouts. We got away from that many years ago. How many of you remember we used to call our scripts breakouts? Remember? Breakout? We're breakout traders. Now we're retracement traders. We want to see pullbacks. All right, so you remember that, Hardy? Yeah, you've been around a long time. Yeah, you remember that, right? Okay, so let me ask a couple of questions then now. What are we going to do? We're in this trade. I know most of you don't like the trade, but we're in it. So we have some options. What are we going to do? Should we leave this buy order here and let it fill and have 2 contracts long from a blended average of here? Or if it comes and breaks that, take this buy order away and sell it and put our stop right there. Or both. Let it come down and fill here, but then if and when it was to fill, put 2 protective stops under this swing right here. Okay, everybody following what we're doing? We got into a breakout trade that we didn't want. Okay, now we're stuck with it. Okay, we're going to play along and say we're stuck with it. And many of you wanted to buy here anyway. So now if it bips down into here and fills this, we will have a blended average. We'll still be down, but the blended average will be somewhere down in here. Here, just filled. It just filled. We got 2 on now. See, it blended it down here. So those of you that wanted to get in here, you would have been filled right now on 1 contract. So we're married to 2. Where do we put our stops? Yeah, let me get some questions. They want to try to see it a little better. Is that better if I move it over like that? Can you see a little bit better? Everybody see this chart okay? Let me make it full screen. How tight do you want the stop? Let me give you some options. You can put a super tight stop in just under the wick of that candle right there. I'm just going to point to it in case it bips down and gets it. I don't want to get out of this. I want to leave this. I want to watch this trade for a little bit here. Under the candle would be A, super tight, right here, just right under there. Let's do a B and a C. B would be, I don't know, right in here on your 2 contracts. And C would be under this swing right here, these candles, where the trend line is. Sell stop 2 contracts. Say a tick under that swing right there. Let's go A or B. Cast your vote. A is a tighter stop here. B is a tighter, A here, B here. Cast your vote. There's no C in this case. There's no C in this vote. It's either tight, A, or B, looser. We're sort of team trading here a little bit. We're getting in and out. We're taking votes on. The purpose of this exercise is obviously to have a market that's moving a little bit here. You know, we don't know if it's going to go up or down, or we're going to make any money on these trades. But what I think is helpful is the visualization of what we're looking at all together as a team, and it's interesting to see how people look at things. A lot of A's, a couple of B's. It's kind of mixed. Tell you what, just for now, let's leave it a little bit looser, just for now. How many of you would add to it if it dropped down in here? Would anybody be adding to it? 3 contracts? Anybody want to average down more and buy more of it? Wow, look at that. A whole bunch of yeses and a maybe. Well, that's right, Diane. If you bip down into here instead of stopping out, if you bought more, you'd actually be under this trend line. Although you would be checking, arguably you'd be checking a swing, right in here. So throw another 10 on. I don't know about that, David. You're kind of 10 would probably get a little slippage on that. I mean, volume's starting to pick up a little bit. All right, let's talk about targets. Let's talk a little bit about some targets if we bip up here. We got 2 contracts on. Where do we want to start peeling them off? Let me lob out some ideas for you here. So you want to sell stop because we're long. Sell limit, we're long. Of course, like I said, OT for those coming in late. I didn't have a chance to get OT on the chart. Which OT, of course, would be managing all this, and you could just slide them around. It would already have all targets and stops. Everything would be, you can start, most of you who use OT, you know that. All right, I got a couple of targets. So I'm fading this swing here. For this target right here, we're coming a couple of ticks inside of that swing. So that would be your scalper. I'm making a suggestion here. I didn't have time to put it up, Diane. I'm sorry. I was saying I was running super late. I just came in here and all I had time was to throw up a quick chart here. I was running super late. In fact, I'm surprised I even got in here on time, to be honest with you. It was like right at 5 o'clock, and I just had a chance to throw this up real quick. But I do use OT. I absolutely use OT during the live trading sessions, of course. Now, does anybody want to pull this down? Anybody want to go lower on the target? Anybody want to fade that swing a little bit more like this? Yes or no? You could actually bring it down inside of this swing too if you really wanted to. That's a super tight scalp. What do you think? So the way this is set up, yes? Okay, pull it down a little bit. All right, let's take a quick vote on that. All right, for your scalper target, you want to go, and I'll give you two targets real quick here. Should I move the stop up? Wait to see the next bars. Super tight target right here. We'll call that one A. Looser target B right here. Super tight target A. Cast your vote. Looser target on the scalp. The runner target's up here, so that's off the table for now anyway. Where do we want to take it? A, right under this, tick under this swing, which would be a close of this candle up, would take the first one on a scalp. B would be up here. Cast your vote. Everybody's voting B. Okay, A's off the table. Who wants to move the stop up right now? Who wants to move the stop up right now? Yes or no? Starting to get a little movement to the upside. Where do we want to put it? Now we left it down. Remember the loose vote was under this swing right here. Take it up under here. How about a tick under this last bar right here, just under this little trend line? What do you think about that? That too tight or is that good? Okay, other people have come in late here. If you're coming in late, let me explain. We already had one trade. We're trading 6J. This is the open of the Asian trading session. This 6J is the yen future, 6 1/4 a tick, just like all the currencies. We're on the December contract here, okay? We already had one trade that worked out. We got inside of this box. We got a breakout filled on that bar right there. It came up. And we got out here. It was only one contract. We made a profit on it. The vote was to go at the swing, and it got filled. It pulled back. It broke up to a fresh high. We had a buy order here. We got filled. That's a breakout, by the way, off a thrust. We generally don't do that. We want pullbacks. We got our pullback right into here. We had another second contract waiting right here. So the ideal condition would really be that we would have just been filled on this one right here. So our actual fill would have been down here. As a result, though, we have a blended average of this number right here. So we're stuck with this fill right here because we held the breakout trade that we got into, added it on the bounce. And so that's how we got to where we're at. We started with an initial stop under the swing right here. And we have two targets. We got one fading this swing right here. And our runner is just above that if it was to poke through up here. Right now, of course, you can see it's just oscillating around our entry. And we took a vote, and everybody wanted to move the stop up to a tick under this bar right here, just under the trend line that we drew right here. All right, good. Hey, by the way, is anybody else scanning the market? What else is moving right now? It's gold. What else is moving? Let me get another chart up. 6E, any of the currencies moving? Let's get some charts up here. Stand by. 6S, 6J, 6A. Let's get a 6J. Let's get a 6A. Let's get a 6A chart up here. Stand by. Loading a 6A chart. Oh, give me 1 second, please. I'm trying to load it. It's not loading for me yet. Just 1 second, please. Ah, you're killing me. Having little chart issues here with my data. Just bear with me 1 second, please. Let me get this off the screen so I can get this done. You can watch this trade as it plays out here. We're pulling a little bit against us. Well, that's a good question. Diane is asking a question here for the team. For those of you who trade the Asian session, when do you notice the activity pick up? I know I think Adam made the comment that 6A and 6J, these currencies are pretty slow at the Asian Open. When do you find that they pick up, Adam, for those of you that trade the currencies in the Asian session? Got to give it an hour or two, 6, 7 o'clock my time. Anybody trade the Asian session can offer some guidance on that? Hold on, Diane. Some folks are weighing in here real quick. It can be moving pretty good during the U.S. Open. Okay. I think she was asking about when the Asian session starts to pick up. And what do you like to trade for those of you who trade it? Adam, sounds like you trade it. Stand by, I'm bringing a 6A chart over. By the way, everybody, it's starting to move up towards our target. Anybody want to move the target up or leave it where it is? M for move, L for leave. Anybody want to move the stops up? Leave? L, leave. Okay, everybody's voting leave. Okay, we'll leave that first target where it is. Anybody want to move the stops up to here? Three more ticks, we'll get that first target. While we're watching that, let's move stops. Yes, okay, good. I popped them up under that wick of that last bar there. Wow, look at this sell-off on 6A. Holy cow, look at that thing. Ain't even Christmas. That puppy's been selling off like a big dog. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and just for the hell of it. Move that stop just 1 second. I'll tell you what we'll do though. Just a little heads up. Just a little heads up on this here. How I'm kind of looking at it here. If we do pop up and take this target and it starts to move up towards the second target, I'm going to immediately take this stop up to right here. 2 or 3 ticks above the entry. Just a heads up. That's what the plan is. Okay, right? We pop the first target. We get our stop up immediately right into here. So it's called a free trade. In other words, you already got your first target, and then you can't lose on the second one. If it comes back and gets that second stop, you still made a few ticks on it. Okay, that's the plan. 5 p.m. Pacific time is the start of the Asian trading session. And so what we talked about, I know, just a refresher, I know there's folks that came in late. That's okay. 6A is the Aussie dollar. And so that sometimes moves. I'm just giving you some options. Okay, I'm lobbing options out there for you to consider if you want to watch the markets in these sessions. 6J is the Japanese yen futures. Obviously, they could move in the Asian session if you're looking for things to trade. Occasionally, gold will make a move. GC, right here. I wouldn't really recommend the DAX and the FGBL. You know, those are too fast movers. Now, at midnight Pacific is the start of the European trading session. So then you'd be looking at 6B British Pound futures, 6E Euro, 6S the Swissy, and of course the dollar index. Those would be your options after midnight Pacific. For you night owls, that would be 3 a.m. Eastern. Okay. All right, what are we going to do with 6A here? Adam's saying sometimes the currencies also move at 5 a.m. U.S. time. What time zone is that, Adam, on your currency moves? What are we going to do while you're thinking about that? 6A. What do we want to do here? Should we jump in now? Short? Market? What do you think? Market order, short, right here. Looks like it's going to break. Head down, take this out. What do you think? Let's jump on it right now. Who's with me? Market sell right now. Hit the button. Yes or no? Okay, we're going to get that first target here on 6J in just a second. Get a closed bar up. 2 more ticks. No, no, no. Do nothing. Move away from the keyboard. You're funny tonight, David H. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. Okay. All right. There. Okay, we got our first target. 6A is in no man's land, right? 6A is floating around in no man's land. The trade really set up here. Everybody sees that, right? I mean, downtrend, retracement, roll, short, downtrend, roll, retracement, short, roll off the midband, short, short, short. And you should already be in this trade with a scalper target taken out, yes? Who wants to move the stops up on 6J to right here? Now you got to remember, you've got the runner on, so there's only 1 contract left. Do not leave 2 on, or you're going to get filled short. Now OCO, Object Trader, would already be doing that. Okay, we're just manually doing it because we have something that we want to kind of work together and show what we're showing here. Quick vote on the next target. Leave it where it is or move it up. L, leave it. M, move it higher, up into here by these predictors up here. L, leave it where it is. M, move it higher to the predictors right here at 6720. Ooh, we got, okay, wow, we got an L and 3 M's. Cast your vote. Leave this target where it sits right here at this 96685. There's a predictor here too, right? This would be above the swing, so we're looking for a little runner move pop here. Or move it up to here. L for leave it, M for move. Cast your vote. Whatever the consensus of the team is, that's what we'll do. Ooh, a lot of L's coming in. You M movers are getting outvoted here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 L's. The L's seem to be winning it. All right, L's seem to be winning it. Leave it where it is. All right, okay, L's, you win. You win that vote. So the question here, somebody said that the liquidity is very thin on. Now that's the other thing I need to point out for those of you that are considering doing currency trading in the early morning hours or after hours like this session right here. You got to look at the liquidity in the spread. This spread is one tick. See how it pops up? You got 10, 15. You want to see some liquidity here. If you are looking at an instrument and the spread is like 5 ticks, and you see 1 here and 2 here and like no movement on it, in other words, just sitting there for like minutes and minutes and minutes, just like hardly moving a tick, and the spread is large and there's no liquidity, that is an instrument you don't want to trade. Just a heads up. And if you're experimenting with after-hours trading like we're doing here, boom. Oh, you levers. You M's, you won. Well, let's see what she does. Let's see if she keeps going. We got it. What do we got to do? What's the one last thing we got to do on this trade? There's something left over we haven't done yet. Look at the charts. What do we got to do? What's going on? Well, look at the chart. If this was your chart and you were trading after hours, you had 2 winners. Boom, boom, boom. 2 nice winners. You're up nicely. What's left over? What do we got to do? You got to remember this, everybody, right? What do you got to do? You got a leftover stop sitting here. You got to get that out of there. Clear orders. You go into your orders tab. You make sure you check all those orders. Right-click, cancel all orders. Okay, right-click, cancel all orders. Or you come onto your chart and you physically remove it. See that? Okay, don't leave that in there because, especially live, okay, don't remember, you got to get that out. You got to cancel that stop. If you don't, you get filled short. You could be live. Next thing you know, you go off to dinner or whatever. You're not paying attention. You could have a live open position there. It's extremely dangerous. If you're trading after hours, please, please, please remember to cancel all your orders when you're finished. Okay. All right. Well, 6A isn't moving. Since we've been trading this here, let's just keep an eye on it. How many of you want to get back in for one more? Or would you be done with 2 winners? I didn't tally the totals. I suppose I could look that up. I'd say it's a couple $100. You know, a couple $100, maybe plus or minus. Extend this trend line out. How many want to get back in? What do you think? If we dip down into here, you want to buy it? Let me give you some buy options here for you to ponder. You can put a buy order down in here. You can put a buy order right in here. Six B's moving? Mary? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask if anybody could help scan the market a little bit for me and see if there's anything moving. 6B, anybody? What else is moving? Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Holy cow. Yeah, I can do that. David Ace saying, if before we wrap, can we take a quick look at the opening of the market and talk about how we would trade it. What instrument are you looking at there, David H? See, it's holding the swing right now, by the way. It's not, and that happens sometimes when it breaks out. Pulls back and checks that swing right there and then takes off and up to another fresh high. All right, we're getting a retracement on 6B. YM or Nazi? Okay. How many of you want to sell 6B up here at the mid-band? You got a predictor, you got 2 predictors right here. You want to look at NASDAQ at the open? Okay. All right, let me while we're watching this, let me give you some sell orders here to ponder on our little 6B setup here. You could put a tighter, you could buy it. No, we don't want to buy a stop, we want to sell stop. Might roll right here. Now the other thing you could do if I had time to set up OT and I Didn't unfortunately have time to do that. My apologies. We're breaking down right here. I mean, out of that box. And we could pretend we had OT on and just sell the market right there. Might go a little higher. We'll see. Let me tee up another chart before we run out of time. So the question here on the table was from David H. He said he wants to do a quick review of the morning trading session on YM or NASDAQ. Anybody else want to see that? Yes? Okay. All right, let me pause the screen and get those charts set up for you here before we run out of time. Talk about the open and how this session went this morning. Oh, Nazi's breaking right now, Adam? All right, well, let me get a chart up. Stand by. I'm trying to get it right now. Let me bring Nazi up first, and then we'll look at YM. Get a new chart up here. Just throw it up real quick, just so we can take a peek at her. Okay, it's loading. Stand by. Data's loading. Come on, Nazi. Be a good friend. Don't blow out the chart, little buddy. Do not blow out the chart. Oh yeah, it's tanking. Look at that. Hold on. Let me share it with the team here. Selling the equities off, huh? One second, please. I'm going to open this chart up in full screen and share the NASDAQ chart. So you can see the trades have already kind of set up, come and gone on this. You know, all the equities, I don't know if anybody watched the equities into the close. They all kind of look like this. ES look like this. YM, they all kind of look like this. They went in this funky, you know, trading range here for, I don't know, 2-3 hours. I mean, just total range bound. And then as you can see here, after the close of the market, the resolution was down, right? You can see the resolution was down. So we came all the way to here. You did have a chance if you're watching or trading, and of course we see you got a retracement up into stealth and it rolled. That was a short retracement up into stealth and rolled. And now you know, obviously we're not going to short it here. You would be chasing it, right? So here again for everybody who's new that just joined us recently, you know, we wait for retracements. You have the thrust portion of the move, you have the retracement part, and we, in a downtrending market, we short rollovers. We short rollovers, as long as that trend continues. So the tricky part, as we all know, in trading these markets, is trying to find the ideal spot to get in on the retracement, because you never really know how far it's going to pull back. So just a quick refresher for those of you who have heard me say this like 100 times. I like to think of it as an opportunity zone of where to look for potential rollovers. So you're projecting out into the future, and you'll hear this in the room sometimes. You'll hear something like, you know, if it gets anywhere up around that 64, 64.50, anywhere between 63 and 64.50, I'd be looking for a roll short. Right? So when you hear that type of comment in the live room, what it's saying is, okay, we're acknowledging the fact that it is already thrust. So the shorties are already in. And at some point, the shorties are going to start covering, right? And when they start covering, it's going to have a buoyancy tendency to push it back up like this. Now, you could argue that you have a swing established right in here that it could hit its head at and roll right in there, right? I mean, the fact of the matter is it could have a very shallow retracement, roll and break down and take off. Now, do we want to chase it if it does that? That's kind of the very lowest end of the opportunity zone, right? To get short on a roll. I don't know about that, because it could be a simple roll and a head fake, and next thing you know, it comes up here where we really wanted it. And we don't want to have our stops sitting up here, right? We don't want to have our protective stops up here where we wanted to get in. In other words, I'm suggesting that we wait till it gets up into here to sell it. Let me just show this right on the chart here. Yeah, I'm going to fade the midband by a couple of ticks. Right, so here's kind of the sweet spot of our opportunity zone for a short. Yes, right up near the midband. See it? As opposed to saying I'm going to sell if we pop, say, above this swing by a tick or two and it rolls, I'm going to go ahead and get short. In terms of visualizing a retracement on a potential short entry, I would tend to probably nix this one because it's just simply a little too tight to get in. In other words, there's just not enough meat on the bone. If it was to roll and come and double bottom here, you barely even get a scalp, right? See it? There's just no meat on the bone there. It's got to be some kind of roll up at this resistance area up here. Right up in here. The higher area. See, the risk return is much better up here, right? Because if and when it was to come up here and then roll, your targets are down here. Your scalper target's actually right here, and your secondary target's down here. Everybody see that? So the risk return on a deeper retracement, even to here, is much better. Fact of the matter is, it could come as high as this little swing right here, which would be even better, or even up to here. Does everybody see that? Everybody see what I'm talking about there? Anybody not understanding what I'm talking about in terms of this trade entry on NASDAQ? $63 half swing. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you could make the case that you know, anywhere up in here. So, you know, and for me personally, I don't put standing orders in there. I'm just doing it to illustrate what I'm trying to show here. I'm just showing where the orders could be. You know, just like in the room, what I like to do is I like to, let me make sure I'm in sim here. I really don't want these trades. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, obviously we would be saying that we're looking to get short on a retracement deeply up into here. The risk return isn't very good on these shallow retracements like this. No, I just put this line up here, PW, to show where the next swing was. If it can, what I was trying to illustrate is that if you get a much deeper retracement, in other words, it doesn't roll over in here, it could come as high as up into here before it rolled over, and that would still be an acceptable short up in here. All right, before we run out of time, we're getting a little short in the tooth here. Let me, I'm going to go ahead and just take these off. Everybody sees what we're talking about here. Any questions on this, on how to visualize the retracement? That's what we're trying to do in these markets right here. We're trying to help visualize retracements, where we want to get in, why and where are we looking to get in, and then how we would pull the trigger, execute, put our protective stops in, and our targets. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, we got filled. Here, hold on a second. Hold on one second. Whoa, 6B, woolly beast. What happened here? Are we short? Oh, yeah. Whoa. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, we weren't paying attention. So we got filled short on 6B. It's blasting us right now, of course. You see that it's starting to, get a deep retracement. And we are long 6J. Tell you what, for the heck of it, very thin volume. Yeah, we wouldn't be trading this, but, you know, let's leave it on just to have something to watch. Tell you what, why don't you do this? Okay, we're bipping up. How many of you want to put the stop here now? 6J, where's the target going? How many of you want to fade this or let it run? What do you want to do? You got a free trade on now. If it retraces, we're out. Let me take this line out of the way here. How many of you want to fade this swing right here? Let me give you a sell order. We're long. How do you like that? Or a little higher? How do you like that? You like that? Excuse me. Or you want to go higher? You want to go above the swing and see if it runs? Or you want to take it if it bips up and closes one more candle up? Take it? Right there? there. Don't move it. Leave it right there. All right, take its have it. Now, let's talk about 6B. Obviously, this was a bad trade. We're stuck in it. What do we do now? Obviously, and just to be clear about this, obviously we would be out of this thing because it would have definitely got our stops, right? You know, it bipped down, it rolled over, we got sucked in, you know, we would have had to stop somewhere up here. So we'd already be out of it. But let's say that we're not out of it. What do we do now? How do we manage this beast? Could be a trend change, huh? Bail? All right, that was one question I was going to be asked. How about just getting out of it right now, not trying to manage it, not trying to sell more or put stops in or reverse it, put a buy order and get out, and when it dips up here. Let's see, we are short. Now, we could just bail and regroup, close, boom, close at market, we're out. Book $100, whatever, $6 loss. Let me give you another option. How about this? You're stuck in a trade you don't like. What if you put a buy stop right up here like this? Close it and go get some lunch. Wow, it's an interesting mixed vote coming in from the team here tonight. Hardy says let it in and stay short. Bail and reevaluate. Wow, the predominant vote is to bail. Tell you what, here, let's just do this. Let's leave a little stop up here and see if she rolls and breaks back down. I would personally take the bail myself. Yeah, I mean, when it was down $100 right here, it's not worth. You know, what you wind up getting into, and most of you have heard this a million times, it's called a hope trade. You're in a hope trade, right? Hope trade is where, you know, you're upside down, you keep thinking it's going to roll, and it never does, right? You just sit there staring at it, and you're just wasting your time, praying it's going to come back to your entry and get your target, and it never just sitting there, and you're all frustrated, and you're hoping. It's called a hope trade. Stressful. Yeah, it can be very stressful. Yep. Oh, it's coming back to our entry. What do we do now? You want to put some targets in and move the stop down? How about this? And we'll peel one here. We'll fade this bottom here and pull this. We'll take the. Let's get out of this thing quickly. If we bip down under that swing right there, we want to get out of it, and then we'll put a runner down in here. Buy it back. Boom. You're out of one. Take your stops down. Fade this bottom. Get out of that second one. Right. Moved in our favor. Get out of that second one. Get that stop down now on that last contract. Down to one. OT would do this automatically for you. Get the stop inside the entry. Now you got it boxed. Everybody see that? Boom, we're out. Trade's done. So in this particular case, the way we approached it, instead of just booking the loss, is we put a 2-contract stop up here above this swing. In other words, we were kind of anticipating the fact that we might, if we got favor moving in our with us in our direction, that we would roll over from here, and that possibly it could break down, which is exactly what it did, move slightly in our favor, giving us a chance to get out with a small profit, as opposed to just hitting close and getting out when we were upside down at the mid-band. So that was the approach. If you recall, we were short, we put a protective buy stop just above this swing right here. Remember? There, it's tanking now. Should have taken that second target out of the way and let it run, huh? Are we long 6A again? 6J? Take that off. Remember to get your stops out. We're long 2. Somehow we got long 2. Oh, you know what? I probably put a buy order in there. All right, what do we do now? Okay, let's do this. We're long, so put a sell stop right at the entry. And then tighten this puppy down to here like this. Look at 6B fall off the map. Holy cow. Holy cow. That would have been a runner, huh? Ooh, doggies. All right, we're going to get that right at the entry there, okay? I mean, you could give it some wiggle room to under the swing. We're already up a few $100 on that. Made some money on 6B. Okay, let's go back to NASI. We're running over here. I need to get that NASI question knocked out about looking at the early morning trading session. Let me find my NASI chart again here real quick. Stand by. Come on, NASI, cooperate with me, little friend. Whoa, popped it. I think you missed it. I was moving the chart around. Pop that target on 6J. Popped it. We've got one left on. We got to get our stops down to 1. How many of you would like to take that stop up into here? Where do you want to put the next target on the runner? It's running. Up near the predictors? We're long, so we got to put a sell up here. Where do you want it? Tell me. Right here? Okay, now you're going to trail the stops. At the top by the predictors, Joe? Anybody else? Where do you want your stop now? Right here? All right, so what we're seeing here is that when you get the runner running, okay, I've got a very tight stop there. I'm going to go right. You could go under this shelf. Okay, let me show you a couple of things. See this little shelf right here? That's not too strong simply because you only have the wick of one candle here. See, that's not really much well established, whereas you had several wicks of many candles right here. So what I'm saying here, just to be clear, is that it could pull back, and if it was to pull back, I would anticipate some kind of support to hold right in there. So I mean, you could go a tick or two under that little shelf right there, and you're right at this line 6. You like that stop better? A little more wiggle room there. Everybody see the logic? So when everybody knows when you hear the tight or loose stop call in the room, the tight stops generally are very close to the current price action. You know, right up like under a shelf that's under, say, a wick of a candle or two behind where the market is. That's tight stops. Okay, we might get it. Anybody want to move that target out of the way and let it, boom, too late. Boom, got it. All right, good trade, everybody. All right, let's get back to NASI before we run out of time. Okay, Joe, have a good one. We'll see you in the morning. We're getting long in the tooth. We're going to run out of time. By the way, this is recorded. It'll be up in the subscriber area tomorrow, so if you have to take off early, don't worry about it. We'll keep this recording going here. Now, NASI was a little choppier than YM. YM was a little easier to trade. I actually prefer YM right now, to be quite honest with you. You know, I like YM. I think it's a little easier. You know, it moves a little more methodical, respects the swings a little better. NASI can be a real tough bird to wrestle in the morning sometimes. 6:30 is way over here. Stand by. I'm trying to get this charts all locked up here. I mean, you only really had a couple of trades on NASDAQ that were any good this morning. Here's the chart right here. So in the pre-market session, we all know what we do. Let me put some lines on here. If you have 6:30 Pacific was right here. This is the open of the market. Equity markets right here. You have to put your lines on your chart that you want to trade, where your support and resistance is. So you would have a line sitting more or less up in here, and you have a line sitting pretty much kind of down in here. The prevailing trend was sideways to down, sideways to down. So in this case here, we are shorting rollovers. Okay, so let me just show you some rollovers that happened in the morning. Here's one shortly after the open was short. Here's one right here. These are all short trades. Here's the open, 6:30 right here. You had a couple in the pre-market. You had one over here and you had one here that hardly made any money. You had one there. and you had another one right here. I believe we called these out as they were occurring in real time, especially this one right here. This was a good little short. Gave you about, I don't know, 60 down to 52. This is about 20 tick trade. Couple contracts, but these shorts, you could be up by 7 o'clock. You could have had 1, 2, 3, 4 shorts. Everybody see this? 4 shorts by 7 o'clock. And then from 7 to 8, we kind of went into this funky melange, choppy, range-bound, with all due respect, for lack of a better word, crap. If you noticed, after about 7 o'clock or so, I didn't really say too much about trading, especially NASDAQ and YM. It's because you were in this funky, choppy little 15-tick box. I mean, you could have traded this. You could have been shorting these tops and taken the coin at the bottom. That's your personal call. If you could, but for me, this range was just a little too tight. So NASI kind of ran out of gas for me around 7 o'clock. Later on, after we closed the room around 8, it started to resume its downtrend. It just broke down right here. Yeah, David D says the open usually slaps me around. Well, that's a trade-off. A lot of traders wait till 6:40, 6:45, 7 o'clock. Now, in today's case, if you had skipped the trades at the open in the first half an hour, you would have missed 4 good short winners. Okay, you would have missed 4 good short, and then at 7, you're stuck with this sideways mess. Yeah. So I mean, it's a trade-off. I mean, some days it's the reverse, right? Some days this choppy stuff is right here at the open, and it's just chopping all over the place, and you're not really getting a trend. And then at 7:30, the thing breaks down and starts tanking. All right, so we gotta have to observe what's happening in the market and adjust our trading accordingly. Is everybody seeing this chart? Moving my cursor around. Everybody seeing the chart? Yes or no? Cursor moving. Everybody sees the trades I was talking about here, right? Here's the open 6:30. Here's the opening range, these 2 yellow lines. Here's the short 1, short 2, short 3, short 4, and then here's the crappy or choppy stuff right here. See, all the predictors are more or less sideways. Support's down here, resistance is up here. Trend is sort of sideways to down, so you're really short in resistance and covering at the bottom down here. And here's what I was saying, at 8 o'clock, fell off the map again. And then it reversed at 8:30 and ran all the way back up. So, these markets are really just full of all sorts of different challenges, Let's take a quick look at YM, and then we'll wrap, okay? CBO, I'm not really sure how to answer that. Is it wise to trade 6B 2 hours after a flash crash took around 2 hours ago? Isn't volatility in thin volumes a risky situation to avoid? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you were here, CBO. That's precisely what I said. You want to check for the volume on the bid ask. If it's very thin or the spread is large, stay away from it. Right? Yeah, it's very risky. Truth be told, I don't trade after hours. I don't trade the Asian session. I don't trade the European session. That's not to say you shouldn't, but I'm saying if you are, you have to be, and you're kind of sitting alone trying to make decisions on your own. You're not in a live room, obviously, right? Be very, very careful with what you do. Now, YM at the open was just fell off the map here. You can see the trend was very similar to NASDAQ in the fact that you had, here was your opening range from the pre-market session right here, like this. Background is red, more or less selling off from the European session over here. Does everybody see YM chart? Cursor moving, YM chart, circling YM with the cursor. Everybody still see that? YM cursor moving. So yeah, the equity market's open right here at 6:30. Chart looks very similar, of course, to NASDAQ, only you really only had a couple of shots to get short, and it wasn't, you had this one right here. You pretty much had to, in the first minute or two, grab that short right there. If you didn't get it, you could have shorted the break of this swing right here, 6:34, so 4 minutes in, and then it just ripped down. The only other retracement short roll opportunity was right here. And it gave you another sort of tail end of this last 25, what is that, 70 to, yeah, 20, 30 ticks drop. So you had one short here and a second short here in the first half an hour. As it turns out, this box trade here at the mid-band did not work out. It never rolled, so we didn't get in that. And then it started going this deep retracement type program. I can't recall. Did we take a long in here? Does anybody remember? I think I had a box. I want to say that this one was boxed in, or was this pullback? Anybody remember? I do remember one long trade on YM that actually worked out. Was it this one? I don't know. I don't remember. Was anybody there and took that? Anybody remember that? I think we did wind up taking a long on that one right there, and then stopped out and we got out of it. Yeah, I think we did. And then YM went into the same chop that NASDAQ did. Yeah, it bounced off the mid-band and we took a long. That's right. Around 7:27 here, shortly after 7. Got a little bit of chop. I didn't trade. I was done with YM by, I think, before 7:30. I didn't take hardly any trades in that last 30 minutes. That's why I was so quiet. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. We went a little bit over here tonight. It's okay. We covered a lot of material.